Jeremie Frimpong is on the verge of signing for Liverpool, but the question is, why? Well, the obvious answer is that Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to Real Madrid. He has left us high and dry, we've got no money for him, and he's off to Madrid, which leaves us with only one proper right back in Conor Bradley. The likes of Kwanzaa and Joe Gomez aren't good enough to be a number 2 throughout the season, so it'll be between Conor Bradley and Jeremie Frimpong to battle out for the right back spot, as we are short in that position with Trent leaving in the summer. So with Liverpool needing a new right back, the question is why Frimpong? With the obvious answer being that the release clause of 29.5 million is an absolute bargain. To get a right back of that quality for that value is outstanding. For me, to get the best right backs in the world, Trent would be between 50 and 100 million if he wasn't leaving us on a free. Hakimi went to PSG for 60 million euros. So to get a right back of his quality for under 30 million and at the age that he is an outstanding deal. So that's the obvious reason why go for him. The price is cheap. Cheap as chips.
Chippy chips.
Just because he's cheap doesn't actually guarantee that he'll work at Liverpool. So we need to make sure that the player we are bringing in to replace Trent is going to be as good, if not better than him. So if we compare his stats to Trent this season, they're actually pretty similar, and especially for two players that play the game very differently. Trent for over the years has been manipulating the game from deep with his passing range, whereas Frimpong likes to be on the front foot, likes to press, uses speed, uses stamina to get the best out of his ability. So with Frimpong being dead cheap and similar in his stats to Trent, you've got to ask yourself, are there any problems with this? And the one glaring one for me is it'll be stopping Conor Bradley's growth. Liverpool already have an outstanding right back in my opinion in Conor Bradley. We've seen it over the past few seasons. He has stepped up to a level on the big stage multiple times for us. So is bringing Frimpong in actually going to derail that? So I think it's only fair to compare their stats as well. And we'll include Trent in this because Trent was obviously the first choice right back this season for Liverpool. Conor Bradley played a handful of games and Frimpong looks like he's going to be the new right back for us. And as you can see, Bradley wins all the defensive attributes. He is exactly what you want from a defender. Ground duels won, clearances, ball recoveries. Conor Bradley has the intensity to be an outstanding right back, not just for Liverpool, but in world football. And the slight concern is Frimpong's defensive stats are actually worse than Trent. And Trent is a defender who not just Liverpool, but world football have criticised for his defending for the past few years now. And it has been said that Bayer Leverkusen fans have complained about Frimpong's defending. So that is a slight worry, considering that we've already had a right back in Trent over the past few years that's been criticised for his defending. So we're going to replace that for another right back who can't defend either. So if Conor Bradley's winning in defence, Frimpong is obviously got to win in attack, which he is. He's actually doing better than Trent in the sense of goals and his conversion rate for those goals. He's only just shy of Trent on the assist, but he really outperforms Conor Bradley in this department as well. So it looks like if we get Frimpong, it'll be a like-for-like replacement with Trent compared to having Conor Bradley in, who looks more defensively secure in that position. So with Frimpong shining in the attacking attributes and Conor Bradley shining in the defensive ones, the question we've got to ask ourselves is, which player is best suited for this Arne Slot Liverpool team? So after Arne Slot's first year at Liverpool, we've learned that he likes to play a 4-3-3, a 4-2-3-1 system, whereas Frimpong for Bayer Leverkusen had been playing in a 3-5-2, a 3-4-2-1 formation, but he was an attacking winger in that team. He wasn't a right back, he was a wing back, whereas Liverpool played with full backs. So a right back versus a wing back already puts a favour in Conor Bradley, who's an out and out right back, where Frimpong rarely, if ever, plays in the right back position. He's always relied for Bayer Leverkusen to be an attacking outlet for the side and less responsibility defensively. And I think it's been proven this season that Slot actually likes having defensive fullbacks. He likes his fullbacks obviously to contribute, but really to stay back to keep clean sheets so the attacking players can go and flourish. Like Mohamed Salah has this season, as Trent or whoever's played at right back hasn't been bombing forward as much, but staying in areas that will allow to get the best out of him and the other attacking players. And with Conor Bradley showing the better defensive stats, again it sort of puts the favour in Conor Bradley that he should be the right back, and Frimpong might not be the best player to have in the squad, as it could derail Conor Bradley's growth if he comes in and takes his spot. One thing Arne Slot does love though is consistency. He likes players that are regularly playing week in and week out, 90 minutes if possible. He doesn't really like to rotate like other managers in the league do. The best 11 normally play every week for Liverpool. And with Conor Bradley's injury record lately, that is a real doubt that maybe he's just bringing Frimpong in to be the number one because he can rely on him. Frimpong has an outstanding record in consistency to play in every game of every minute for Bayer Leverkusen. He rarely misses a game through illness or injuries, whereas compared to Conor Bradley, the boy cannot catch a break. Liverpool are looking to play between 40 and 60 games a season. He can't miss at least half them due to injury, so Frimpong might actually be coming in as the number one just because he's more reliable. I like the philosophy of getting the best out of your star player, and obviously for Liverpool that is Mohamed Salah, with the most goals and the most assists, breaking all the records. So to get the best out of Mohamed Salah, I think it's very important that you pick the correct right back, as Mohamed Salah is obviously playing on the right wing. Mohamed Salah has had an outstanding season, and he's played quite wide under this Arne Slot team. So when we look at the heat map of both Conor Bradley and Frimpong, we can see Conor Bradley is actually in a lot more an inverted role, driving through the midfield, which we saw a lot towards the end of the season when he was getting a lot more minutes, making those late runs from deep. Whereas Frimpong for Bayer Leverkusen is really out wide on the touchline, as he's playing as a wing back, so many bodies already in midfield. But Salah's going to be out wide, and Frimpong can't be in that same position. So Frimpong would have to learn to play in a more inverted role if that's what Arne Slot wants to do to get the best out of Mohamed Salah. So with all these stats pretty much showing that Conor Bradley's the better defender, is used to the role and gets the best out of Mohamed Salah, maybe Frimpong isn't being signed as a right back like everyone thinks. Maybe he's being signed as an understudy for Mohamed Salah. Let's think about it. He plays pretty much as a right winger for Bayer Leverkusen, has a little to no responsibility defensively for Bayer Leverkusen. Last year he contributed to 14 goals and 12 assists, which is an outstanding return for any player at the top level. And obviously Mohamed Salah is going to be the starting right back, but if you're able to get someone for that cheap that can play right back, that can play wing back, that can actually play right wing, maybe he's just coming into this Liverpool team as a versatile player that can play multiple positions but will not be the number one in Arne Slot's team. So is Frimpong a good signing for Liverpool? And I think the obvious answer is yes. I think for the price, I think for the attacking data that is shown, and I think for his reliability, we are going to be getting an outstanding player for that price and that age as well, as strength and depth, which is very important I believe in winning league titles and other cup competitions. The best teams buy when they're on top. Do not buy when you're on the downfall like Man United. Strike now, get the best in class, which I think Frimpong is. I think the real question is who will be the number one. If I had to choose now, it'd be Conor Bradley, but I do believe there's a real debate and a real fight, especially in pre-season, between the pair. I think Conor Bradley is going to have to show that he can be reliable for Arne Slot. He can't be missing so many games due to injury, because if he can stay fit, I think he's obviously the best choice. But Frimpong will be right up there, and if he can learn under Arne Slot and actually be with better defenders like Konate and Van Dijk, I think he can shine, especially as he offers a lot more going forward. But let me know what you think down in the comments down below. If you did enjoy this, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.